Hi, Adam here again, hosting the 6th lesson in this course, Basic Knowledge. I hope you find these lessons at the iCasting Academy helpful. In the last lesson, we showed you how to prepare for a job or audition. Well, preparation is one thing, but actually performing the job or audition is another. In this lesson, called Working the Audience, we're going to show you how to deal with the audience. At the end of this lesson, you should have a clear view on how to perform in front of an audience in the best possible way. The first question that probably pops up is, what do you mean by audience? And what do you mean by working it? Well, let's start with the basics. In each job or audition that's being performed, whether as an actor, dancer, voiceover, model, or any other talent, there's always an audience involved. But what is the audience exactly? Let's divide it into two separate groups, the live audience and the passive audience. Are you a public speaker at an event addressing 100 people? Or are you a model in a clothing store during the presentation of a new clothing line to customers? Then that's what we call a live audience. We call it a passive audience when you're performing in front of a camera, or when you're recording your voice as a voiceover. All of this is called a passive audience. The audience will see or hear your performance only once the production is finished. Now, the big question is, what's the difference in practice? Maybe the most important difference between these two is the feedback and the opportunity to get a second chance. When you're performing for a live audience, you get your feedback directly from the audience. A live audience will instantly react on your performance. If you're a hostess for a show and you have an arrogant attitude, the people around you will react to this. They will react more positively to a good attitude. When you're performing for a passive audience, you'll receive the feedback from the client or director. If you're an extra during the recording of a scene in a TV show and your performance isn't that great, the director will tell you after the take, or will stop the recording instantly. Cut! Of course, you want one of the first takes to be perfect, and that should be your aim. But if the director decides the message you're conveying isn't convincing enough or doesn't suit the audience, there's a chance to do the take again. The director won't stop until he's satisfied. With a live audience, there's no second chance, so even more reason to get to know who your audience is. Before you start your job or audition, it's your task to find out who your audience is, what they want, and how you should address them. You can find a lot of information about the audience by just reading the job description or audition description. Let me give you a basic example. Say you're a hostess at a business event at the local golf club. I'm sure you can guess that the atmosphere there would be formal and that you have to behave very politely. But you could also have a job at a more informal event, like a music festival. The atmosphere there would be more relaxed, and you'd have to address the visitors in a very enthusiastic and spontaneous way, maybe with a bit of dancing around. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? But it's not always that obvious. Let me give you some more examples that are more practically oriented. Say you have a part in a corporate film that will only be viewed by new employees, and this corporate film has a positive, informative character. How do you think you should convey the message? I'll give you two examples, one over the top and the other more serious. Example 1. Our products are fantastic. Everything is produced with sustainable materials. That's why we make a difference. And there's only one company that a smart customer should buy. Our company. Example 2. Let me explain a little bit more about our production process. All the products we create are produced with sustainable materials, and that makes a big difference. Just one of the important things that makes a customer choose our company. Did you notice the difference? The second example had a more informative character and therefore suits the production more. Or maybe you're booked on a promotional team that has to promote a new product. Let's say a new coffee brand. So again, let me give you two examples.
Hey man, want some coffee? It's free. New shit. They hired me to give some stuff away. Awesome, huh? Everything free is awesome. Well, except for herpes.
Or this. Hello, sir. Do you like coffee? Have you tasted this great new coffee brand? No? Well, in that case, let me hand you a free sample to try at home. You'll be amazed. So, which one do you think was right? You're absolutely right. Of course, it was the second example. Even my performance is very different when I adjust to another audience. Watch what happens. If, for example, I'm talking to children, I might want to get lower down and talk more slowly and clearly. And also, I might be more animated and even explain my emotions, saying things like, "I'm happy." Whereas with you guys, I don't have to do that. You're grown-ups, you're intelligent, you get it. I don't have to adapt that much. So, are there ways to practice? Yes, there are. At first, the best way of gaining experience is, of course, by performing jobs and auditions. But you can do some practicing at home too. I'm sure you have a camera on your mobile phone. It's a perfect tool to practice your performance. The first step is to determine your audience, and you already know how to do that. Second is recording yourself. Try to convey the message in a way that suits your audience. Once your video is recorded, criticize your performance. Ask your friends or family to watch the video. Ask them to imagine themselves as the audience and to criticize you from that point of view. Now that you know the basics of how to work the audience, there's almost nothing left to prevent you rocking your performance. But you're not done yet. When you arrive at the job or audition, it's key to behave professionally. In the next lesson, we'll show you how to leave a professional impression. Not only at the job or audition, but also after the job. I hope you've liked this lesson. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.